Shabbat Shalom. We are blessed. I say that at the conclusion of a very difficult week. The week that saw a Molotov cocktail thrown at Congregation Beth Tikva in Dollard. It's a week that saw students at Concordia University here in Montreal attacked in such a vicious and hateful manner. I stood there together with others from our Scheier team to be there of support to our university students and to see what they're facing on campus it's unthinkable. It's a hostile environment for Jews and it's something that's very worrisome. It's distressing. It's a week that saw shots fired, that saw bullets in the windows of 2 Jewish schools in Montreal, thankfully shot at a time in which there were no students or no parents or no staff over in the overnight hours, but clearly with the intent to intimidate. And yet, after a week like this, we are blessed. We are blessed to have our values. We're blessed to have our community. We're blessed to have a tradition that teaches us to love and to embrace life. Wouldn't have it any other way. There's a beautiful teaching about blessing connected to our Torah portion, which tracks the end of the life of our first patriarch and matriarch of Abraham and Sarah. At the very end of their life, of course, we see Abraham working and looking after the burial plot for his beloved wife Sarah. And then we see Abraham coming to the end of his life. Avraham Zakein Baba Yamim, as the Torah says. Abraham grew old. His days were up. V'Hashem berachat Avraham bakol. And God blessed Abraham with everything. The question that the commentators ask is, what does that mean? God blessed with everything. What is everything? There are many opinions. The Midrash offers some very interesting opinions, including the idea that Abraham had a daughter at the end of his life, and that was his great blessing that brought him to the place of everything. And there's another blessing as well, as the great Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Bardichev notes, that Abraham's life, that the beginning of his mandate was a moment of blessing, where God said to Abraham, Chayei bracha, be a blessing. And then, now at the end of his life, there's blessing again, and God blessed Abraham with everything. And Rabbi Levi Yitzchak said the two are connected. Abraham was given a mandate to be a blessing. He was a blessing, and therefore he was blessed. That the degree to which he blessed others was the degree to which he himself was blessed. It's hard in a world which doesn't respond with blessing in so many ways. It was hard to be on the campus of Concordia University and see a group of Jewish students who set a table, a Shabbat table, as a way of expressing pain. And around the table they put T-shirts, and on the T-shirts were the photographs of hostages, those who are being held by terrorists, by Hamas terrorists in Gaza. All we want is for them to come home. And the Jewish students stood there with signs not denouncing anyone else, but saying, bring them home. That's what we want. We want all of this to end. We want the terror to end. We want the suffering to be put to a stop. No more suffering. And that's it. It's an extraordinary expression of peoplehood, of unity, of love, of a desire for blessing. And the pain is that this was met with hate. The pain is that a Molotov cocktail and shots at a synagogue, at Jewish schools, this is met with silence. It's met with mealy-mouthed declarations of, this is hate in general, or can't everyone just get along, without calling it out for what it is. It is anti-Semitism. It is outright hatred against Jews. It is discrimination against Jewish students. It's discrimination against Jews wanting to live peacefully, wanting to live together side by side with their neighbors here in our beautiful city of Montreal, in our safe city of Montreal, in our safe country of Canada, in Quebec, an extraordinary place to live. This is a great place to be. And yet, there's been suffering. There's a great deal of pain. And so this is the week in which, firstly, we turn to our neighbors and say to those who have reached out, thank you for showing us your support, to those who haven't, and to fellow religious leaders who have chosen to stay silent when their own communities have declared violence and battle and shouted and screamed and threatened. Silence speaks volumes. We know that God forbid were any other community attacked, we would be the first to stand up and say that is unacceptable. I'm very proud that a number of years ago when there was a shooting at the mosque in Quebec City, that one of the acts, one of the responses was that I went to Quebec City and reached out and attended funerals and tried to whatever degree we could to comfort families and to comfort a community that was in pain. And now our community is in pain, and we turn to our neighbors and say we would welcome your expressions of comfort, and we would welcome your condemning violence coming from within your communities. It's a difficult time, that's without a doubt. But it is also a time in which we look back at our mandate and we reevaluate what we are here to do. Our purpose in the world, in life, as Abraham was told, Chayei bracha, be a blessing. And nothing will stop us from doing everything we can to contribute to the world, everything we can to contribute to humanity, everything we can to make this world a better place. We will not stop creating. We will not stop doing good. We will not stop offering kindness. We will not stop working to end terror and working to promote peace. That is our mandate, Chayei bracha. Hopefully, like Abraham, one day we too will experience blessing, as we have so many times throughout our history. This week, the blessing was missing from our lives, that reciprocated blessing. But we will always be here, staying true to our mission as Jews, staying true to our mission of those who are called upon to be a blessing to all of humanity. Wishing you and yours a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace, and a Shabbat in which we hear the news of all of the hostages having been returned home, of the rule of Hamas being put to an end, of those who perpetrate terror being brought to justice, and of peace and tranquility to all of humanity. Shabbat Shalom.